Facebook has been plagued with privacy-related scandals basically since the beginning. These scandals somehow never managed to stick. Facebook still has billions of users, and that shows no sign of changing. Now, the Cambridge Analytica scandal does seem to be remaining in the headlines longer than usual, and seems to be the first to have actually affected Facebook's stock price, which lost 13% of its value since the revelation came out. It's worth considering why that might be. A media narrative that seems to be coalescing around the scandal suggests that by using this personal information, which we did not give willingly, Cambridge Analytica was capable of rocketing Donald Trump to presidential victory. Now, this is disingenuous at best and blatantly false at worst. Cambridge Analytica was employed by two other political campaigns prior to Donald Trump's. You may remember Ben Carson and Ted Cruz, those losers who really you probably don't remember at all anymore because there's not much to remember. So this data was not what won the election for Donald Trump, and the idea that the media is promoting this narrative is really pathetic. And like, come on, guys, can we come to terms with the tragedy, and do something about it? But the fact that users are considering this the straw that broke the camel's back suggests that people either have very short memories or haven't been paying attention. It was almost 10 years ago now that Edward Snowden came out and told us all that Facebook had been one of the early sign-ons to the NSA's PRISM program, which allowed that agency to install backdoors in popular technology platforms. The other signatories included Microsoft, Google, Yahoo, Skype, Apple. Basically, every company is collaborating with the US government to surveil its citizens. Facebook did lose a few users over that. However, people seem to have largely forgotten about that revelation. However, the sale of your data to advertisers is now the thing to get outraged about? Yes, it's true. Facebook doesn't respect your privacy at all. Their privacy settings are deliberately hard to access and difficult to navigate, constantly changing. They make it very difficult for you to even keep your information private in such a way that it can't be accessed from a public Google search, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, you don't want people to be able to see all your Facebook posts. You just don't. I mean, unless you're some sort of digital exhibitionist, which I guess more and more we all are. Zuckerberg has even admitted, actually, that Facebook is semi-designed to push users in the direction of caring less about privacy, and that they sort of shepherds them into a more open existence, and how that's supposedly a good thing. But yeah, these privacy-related scandals that continue to plague Facebook and cause it to make small cosmetic adjustments in how it handles your information, this would be just the latest of many of them, if not for this sort of emotional appeal to, oh, Facebook used your personal information to get Donald Trump elected. Let's all burn the place down. Yes, let's burn the place down. However, not for that reason. The fact that Facebook is collaborating with the surveillance state should be what really outrages all of us. And also, a little piece that's been missing from the headlines is that Facebook had in development sort of a healthcare-focused information gathering operation. They'd been having talks with certain hospital networks and healthcare providers. Of course, the model that they hold up is that, oh, a person recovering from surgery that doesn't have a lot of friends or relatives living near them, we could send somebody to check on them. This is how this technology would be used in a benevolent and friendly and totalitarian and utterly horrifying way. The idea of Facebook getting access to your healthcare information should terrify you, and Facebook even has now said they put the brakes on that program while they deal with how to more protect users' privacy, as if they ever cared about protecting users' privacy. Like I said, they've been plagued by these kind of scandals since day one, and this is just the one that's remained in the headlines longest. Now, when Mark Zuckerberg goes to testify before Congress in a few days, as much as we might want him to be raked over the coals, and he should be, Congress has a habit of reflexively falling to their knees and opening their mouths whenever in the presence of a person with billions of dollars. So we can basically expect softball city as far as that's concerned. Now, Facebook, in giving the data to Cambridge Analytica, did not actually break any laws. Whether or not this means that laws will be now made to prevent such things from happening again, like I said, I don't think so. They also didn't really violate Facebook's terms of service, which were perfectly allowing this sort of data harvesting and data transfer Up until 2015, app developers could harvest not only the data of people who use those apps, but also of their friends. Now, this is what happened with Cambridge Analytica. A psychology professor devised this quiz, This Is Your Digital Life. 270,000 users took the quiz and consented to have their profile information accessed. Alexander Kogan, the designer of the app, ostensibly was using this data for psychological research purposes. And then Cambridge Analytica paid him $800,000 to take a copy of the data and use it to craft quote-unquote psychographic profiles for use in elections and political campaigns. Now, Facebook found out about this a couple years ago, 2015, and didn't bother to notify any of the users whose data had been harvested. They just told Cambridge Analytica to certify that they had deleted the data. Where you would find such a certificate of data deletion is irrelevant, I suppose, but you could mock one up in Photoshop pretty quick, and that's basically what Cambridge Analytica did. They kept a copy of the data and just told Facebook they had deleted it. Case closed, right? Well, no, not really. The Trump campaign, as had the Carson and Cruz campaigns before it, took the data and used it in devising their political attached strategy. And, of course, to read the media coverage, you would think that this is what made Donald Trump win. And you would be wrong, because do you see President Ted Cruz or President Ben Carson anywhere? No, this is just a small piece of a very, very large and complicated pie. It should be obvious by now that the breathless coverage of the Cambridge Analytica scandal is a limited hangout on Facebook's part. The story, or at least the parts of it that the media are focusing on, contains absolutely no news, just a bunch of old revelations cobbled together with a shiny Trump sticker slapped on top to attract readers' attention. This is to distract from Facebook's continued abuses of our privacy, continued funneling of data to the US government, and continued permeation through all elements of our society. I mean, just try to delete your Facebook. Go on. Let's see how you get by without it. It's like trying to get around without a social security number. You just can't do it in this society. And Mark Zuckerberg has even gone on record saying he wants Facebook to be like the internet ID card. And it's pretty damn close. I mean, you can't comment on a lot of websites without some form of social media profile. I mean, you can't even get a job without it. It's your employer or your prospective employer goes to your Facebook page directly to see how well you would fit into their corporate environment. And a lot of freelancers use Facebook to get work. A lot of people use Facebook Marketplace to buy and sell things. It's rivaling Craigslist on that level. So Mark Zuckerberg knows he has us by the balls. And so the idea that he's like contrite and apologetic and wants us to think that, oh, this is a terrible thing and it'll never happen again, and this is my sincere face, and this is not an anomaly. This is how Facebook does business, and any sort of indication otherwise suggests that Facebook is benefiting from these stories, and that this coverage is actually playing right into their hands. Initially, I was happy to see their stock price go down. I was happy to see the delete Facebook hashtag trending, but the more I see of this, the more I think that this is just a limited hangout, and this is designed to give users sort of a vent to their frustration so that they don't delete Facebook. So yeah, there are good things to come of social media. However, I think everybody should get off Facebook. There are other platforms all over the place. I mean, nobody wants to leave Facebook because that's where their friends are. But if we all get up and migrate to another platform, maybe we can preserve the good aspects while jettisoning the Zuckerbergs of the world and getting our social lives out of their clutches. I think Minds.com has a good model. It's open source. It offers long and short form posting, so it's got like Twitter functionality in addition to Facebook functionality. Yeah, you can make blog posts, you can make short posts like Facebook updates, and you can make tweets, and you can retweet other people's stuff, you can post images. That looks like a good one. It also offers an encrypted chat function, which, I mean, I just get frustrated when I see people, oh, I'm leaving Facebook, I'm moving to Instagram. You guys know that Zuckerberg owns Instagram too, right? So, like, you're jumping out of the frying pan and into the other frying pan, because, like, that's kind of, you're showing your ignorance there, and I realize that not everybody, like, keeps track of these things, but it's important if you really care about the integrity of your personal information and your privacy and your rights and whatnot, which you should. And the same thing with WhatsApp. If you think that your encrypted messenger is, like, your information is safe on there, WhatsApp is owned by Mark Zuckerberg. Don't use it. Yeah, you're using an encrypted messenger is pointless when that messenger is owned by the people you don't want getting your data in the first place. Signal is a great messaging app. Wicker is one that a lot of people are using. I would say Signal is probably like the universally agreed upon to be the best. I use it. I think a lot of other people do. And yeah, but as for alternate social media platforms, obviously, yeah, Twitter has some serious problems. It's censoring users left and right, shadow banning everybody. So getting off Twitter and moving to something like Gab. I have a profile on Gab. I think that it's unfortunately dominated by one side of the political spectrum right now, but you could still have conversations with people who think politically different from you. An echo chamber is a bad thing. And the fact is that the platform doesn't censor you like Twitter does, and so I like it for that reason. Steemit is being cited more and more as a good model. You can make a little bit of money if you get a lot of views on a post. Unfortunately, I see when I signed up for Steemit, it seemed like a lot of people were just trying to use it to like game the system and get money out of it. So there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of interesting content, but this was like a year ago, and maybe it's improved since then, so that's one to check out. But there are alternatives out there, is what I'm trying to say. And you should get the fuck off Facebook, because this is nasty. If this is the wake-up call you needed, if the NSA backdoors didn't get you off, I mean, yeah, delete Facebook, and convince your friends and family to do the same, because that's half the battle. I know the only reason I'm still on Facebook is because that's where everybody I know is, and that's kind of the point of social media, is to be social. So if we can just get everybody to do kind of a mass migration, I think some sort of like viral campaign is the way to go. So share this video or make your own, whatever it is, just, yeah, delete Facebook. We gotta end this shameful chapter of American society. Throw Mark Zuckerberg and his NSA backdoors and his packaging and selling of our social relationships for personal enrichment on the trash heap, and move on, and keep the good parts while throwing out the bad parts. Yeah, if you like this video, you can follow me by subscribing to my channel on YouTube, Helen of Destroy, or you can follow me on Minds, Gab, and Steemit as Velocirapture, on Twitter as Velocirapture23. And yeah, I'm still on Facebook too, but not for long. See you next time.